Stephanie White, her wonderful, wonderful, wonderful coach, was asked about her winning this award, this honor. What do you think Stephanie White did? Do you think
Stephanie White, her oh-so-wonderful coach, the supposed leader of the Indiana Fever, was asked about her star rookie winning a massive award, WNBA Player of the Year at the ESPYs. This is the moment you'd expect any coach to beam with pride, to shower their player with praise, to bask in the glow of their team's biggest star finally being recognized on a national stage.
White was excited? Do you think she was happy? Do you think she was overjoyed by the fact that her star point guard, nonetheless, while injured, just was finally given a real honor by...
But Stephanie White? No, not even close. Do you think she was excited, happy, proud? Nope. It's almost like the news was just another email in her inbox that she couldn't be bothered to read. And here's the kicker. This isn't just any rookie. This is Caitlin Clark, the generational talent who walked into the WNBA and, in less than a year, pulled more eyeballs, sold more tickets, and generated more buzz than the league had seen in decades. Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive, she detonated the WNBA status quo. She dropped buckets, broke ankles, shattered records, and apparently also cracked open a few fragile egos in the process.
A little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on that, looked like she was kind of grabbing at her right groin area. Is that the concern?
Yeah, if that's the one she was grabbing at, I don't know which one it was, but yeah, I mean.
The kind of game she brings doesn't just win matches, it changes the entire atmosphere of an arena. Yet here we are, watching Stephanie White treat her like just another name on the roster. This is where the drama turns into something bigger than basketball. Because instead of joining in the celebration, Stephanie White somehow found a way to turn this into a cold, almost dismissive moment. It's not just awkward, it's telling. Her responses to questions about Caitlin winning the award weren't the heartfelt, glowing words you'd expect from a head coach of a history-making player. They were clipped, detached, and almost bored. You can feel the passive-aggressive undertone in every sentence. And you have to ask yourself, why?
I'll let you listen in on what Stephanie White had to say when she was asked about this after they got drop kicked by 21 points. I'll let you hear. You be the judge.
Why does it feel like Caitlin's own coach can't bring herself to give genuine public credit where credit is due? From her body language to her tone, White looked less like a proud coach and more like someone reluctantly acknowledging an achievement they wished had gone to someone else. Fans picked up on it instantly, and the reactions were furious. And let's be real, this isn't an isolated incident. There's been a pattern all season of White playing down Caitlin's impact, dodging praise, and steering conversations toward other players every time Caitlin's name comes up. Don't get me wrong, Kelsey Mitchell is fantastic, and the Fever have other talented players. But there's no denying who's putting butts in seats, who's driving the TV ratings, who's making little girls in Indiana beg their parents for a Fever jersey. It's Caitlin Clark, full stop. Without her, the Fever are still buried in the middle of the WNBA pack, both in standings and relevance. The moment Caitlin entered the league,
was asked about Caitlin Clark getting WNBA Player of the Year. For those who don't know, she won that award at the ESPYs, and she got WNBA Player of the Year. So Stephanie White, of course, as her coach, is going to be asked about that award. So
she became the gravitational center of not just the Fever, but the WNBA. You can't coach that. You can't fake that. It's rare, precious, and game-changing. Yet White acts like it's a nuisance, like this spotlight is somehow an inconvenience. Instead of leaning into it, she treats it like a distraction. A distraction from what? From her grinding old-school style of basketball that nobody's buying tickets to see? From her rigid game plans that often look allergic to giving Caitlin the ball in crunch time? You almost wonder if White would rather coach in an empty gym where no one's asking why the best shooter in the building is standing in the corner while the shot clock dies. And here's where it gets wild. This isn't just about basketball philosophy, it's about ego. Stephanie White seems to be clinging to some outdated notion that the coach is the biggest star in the room, that every win should be credited to the system rather than the player. But this isn't the early 2000s anymore.
You noticed or heard about it, but during the game, Caitlin got honored as the WNBA Player of the Year in the ESPYs. Just what does it mean to have her impact so far? I mean, there are a lot of really good players in this league, and she got honored as the best player in the league. But yeah.
The modern game is about players, especially transcendent ones like Caitlin Clark, who can lift an entire franchise on their shoulders. And if you're a smart coach, you ride that wave as far as it'll take you. Instead, White looks like she's trying to dam the river. You could practically feel her trying to keep Caitlin's spotlight from getting too bright, as if somehow that brightness dims her own. Which is insane, because the exact opposite is true. When your star shines, you shine. When your player succeeds, it reflects on you as the coach who helped them get there. But White's attitude feels more like a gatekeeper than a guide. Like she's guarding some imaginary hierarchy that Caitlin hasn't earned her way to the top of yet. Newsflash, Caitlin's already at the top. The league knows it, the fans know it, the broadcasters know it. And whether White admits it or not, deep down, she knows it too. But instead of embracing it, she's resisting it. That resistance is starting to feel personal. And it's not a good look. Fans aren't dumb. They can sense when a coach is holding a player back, whether intentionally or not. And when that player happens to be the biggest reason they're even showing up to games, it's a recipe for resentment.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she continues to get new awards, and Caitlin is so fortunate, as well as all these guys, really. I mean, that they don't.
The tension between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White isn't just about one awkward press conference or a few questionable comments. It's about an ongoing pattern that's been simmering all season, a pattern that's starting to boil over in front of everyone's eyes. White seems determined to run her offense, her rotations, her entire team structure in a way that minimizes Caitlin's role in the moments that matter most. And the excuses? They sound polished, but they're transparent. We want to develop all our players. We're running the system. We have to balance touches. It's coach speak for I don't want one player to be bigger than the team.
Stephanie, you POS. Are you kidding me with this? This is her head coach, and this is why I said, and I've said this before, y'all, the Fever went old school WNBA. You cannot trust them. They went old school with their front office. They dialed.
The problem is Caitlin isn't just one player. And she's the reason the team is even in the national conversation. Before her, the Fever were just another rebuilding WNBA team trying to find an identity. After her arrival, the Fever became a hot ticket, a nightly highlight reel, and a magnet for media attention. That's not a coincidence. That's not luck. That's what happens when you draft a generational player. And it's not just about points on the board. Caitlin changes the geometry of the game. Defenses stretch farther. Passing lanes open wider. Teammates get better looks. The crowd stays locked in. And yet, White acts like this is some sort of problem to be managed instead of an opportunity to be seized. When your star player is creating this much gravity, you build your system around her. You don't make her adjust to fit your outdated playbook. That's coaching 101.
It all the way back, bringing in Kelly, bringing in Amber. Stephanie is the epitome of old school WNBA. This is a woman married to a man, goes into the WNBA, and is now with a woman. Does that not sound? I mean, I never released a video, but I did it. So for those of you that don't know, real quick.
But White's actions say otherwise. Game after game, we've seen Caitlin parked in the corner while someone else dribbles the shot clock away. We've seen her subbed out during critical stretches for reasons that make no competitive sense. We've seen her ignored in post-game comments, even after carrying the team on her back for 4 quarters. It's maddening to watch, and it's insulting to the fans who paid to see her work her magic. And here's where the resentment really builds. The fans know that this isn't about team balance or player development. This is about ego. White doesn't want the story of the Fever to be Caitlin Clark's team. She wants it to be Stephanie White's system. She wants the wins to be credited to her coaching, not to the rookie who's breaking records and bending defenses like a 10-year veteran. But this isn't about choosing one over the other. The truth is, both can shine. The coach and the player can share the spotlight if the coach allows it.
Welcome to Keep the Vision, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification for your boy. Appreciate all the support we've been getting. Listen, man, this Caitlin Clark versus Stephanie White thing could turn ugly, and it could turn ugly fast, y'all. I have to be straight up with y'all.
But instead, White seems intent on hoarding the credit, and in doing so, she's sabotaging the very thing that could make her look like a genius. Imagine being handed a once-in-a-generation talent who boosts your team's profile, fills arenas and delivers results, and treating her like a rookie who still has to earn it. That's not just bad optics, that's bad leadership. And it's starting to backfire in ways White may not be able to fix. Social media has been relentless. Every time White gives a lukewarm answer about Caitlyn, it's clipped, shared, and dissected. Fans are running side-by-side comparisons of how she talks about other players versus how she talks about Clark. The difference is glaring. When Kelsey Mitchell scores, White is practically glowing in her praise. When Caitlyn drops a game high and single-handedly keeps the fever alive, White's tone is detached, almost begrudging. The bias is obvious, and fans are calling it out. And it's not just online chatter. At games, you can hear the tension. Chants for Caitlyn grow louder when she's benched. Groans ripple through the crowd when she's subbed out during a hot streak. Fans are showing their frustration in real time. And if White thinks she can tune it out, she's in for a rude awakening.
Stephanie White wants to play the polar opposite way that Caitlyn Clark wants to play. The Indiana Fever got a big win yesterday, and it was a tale of two halves. The first half, the Indiana Fever played that Stephanie White style. That grinded out, ugly, puke back.
Because this isn't going away. If anything, it's escalating. We're getting to the point where the fan base is going to demand action from the front office. They're going to demand clarity. Is this Caitlyn Clark's team or not? And if the answer is anything but yes, they'll turn their frustration into pressure. Pressure on the GM, pressure on ownership, and ultimately, pressure on White's job. That's the danger of playing this kind of power game with a player who's bigger than the team brand. You might win the short-term battles, but you're going to lose the war. And in this war, public opinion is already siding with Caitlyn. Because here's the truth. Caitlyn Clark isn't just a player. She's a movement. She's brought in a new wave of fans, young girls dreaming of their own WNBA futures, casual sports fans who never watched a women's game before, even NBA players tipping their hats to her skill. She's done more to grow the league in one season than some franchises have managed in a decade. And White is treating her like she's a bench player fighting for minutes. It's not just tone deaf, it's destructive. You'd think White would understand that the best way to make herself look good is to fully UNLE.
We have Stephanie White addressing Caitlyn Clark winning the SB's Women Player of the Year award. And you got to understand, Stephanie White, this is very important right here. You can shut down a lot of narratives. You can let the Indiana fan base know you do rock with Caitlyn Clark, because as of right now, we don't think you do.